Let us just briefly go through an overview of how CSS works. You can always read more on this, but generally, the browser loads your HTML and converts HTML into a DOM. I will explain what DOM is in a moment. But then, after that, it fetches the resources that are linked to the document. For example, images, videos, and even linked CSS. Now, the browser passes the fetched CSS and sorts the different rules. So, the elements, class, ID, and finds out which rules should be applied to each node in the DOM. Now, you might be saying, what is a node in a DOM? In HTML, the DOM is like a tree-like structure. So each element, attribute, or text becomes a node in the DOM. So this is how your document is represented to the system. For example, look at this document here. We have the HTML, the head, we have the H1, we have a paragraph, and inside the paragraph, we have a strong element. Now we go to a website that helps us transform an HTML document into a DOM view. Now look at what is represented here. We have our head and then the meta, then we have our title. Remember that we have a text in the title. We can see the text as being title. Now we can go below to the body, and within the body we have H1 and P. Let us focus on those. Now in the H1 we have a text called learn programming. Under P we have a text called programming is quite an, and then followed by a strong element which also has a text. Interesting. Then after that we have another text. Generally, if you look at this, it looks a little bit, divided into nodes. So you can look at the node of the parent HTML, which has a child head. Head has child meta and title. The body has a child H1. P also has a child strong, which has a text interesting. So generally you have your HTML document spread into this node-like structure. And then the browser determines how CSS is applied to each node. So this is a rough overview. You can always read more about how CSS works in general